What's up, creeps? Welcome to fucking October. It's our favorite month of the year. It's finally time. We're all gonna sit down and talk about some spooky shit. I'm Justin.
Jeremy.
I'm BluBrry.
And right now, if you've been paying attention as of this date, October 7th, 2025, Freddy's in the headlines again. Nightmare on Elm Street is being discussed by horror fans of all ages, all thanks to Warner Brothers' brand new 4K Ultra HD full Nightmare on Elm Street collection that was released last week. The shit sold out before it was even revealed. Luckily, I got my hands on the Steelbook and, of course, my copy for review, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the kills. Nightmare on Elm Street has always been some of the most creative when it comes to that category, and you guys have heard us do best kills from the Halloween series, best kills from the Friday the 13th series, and I felt only necessary. It's time to talk about Freddy again. I'm sure our resident Nightmare on Elm Street expert would agree with me, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, we're overdue for that, for sure. And honestly, Freddy Krueger has been out of the spotlight for so long now due to rights and legal issues that it's great to see our burnt, lovable Freddy getting some shine again. Like it's cool to see Nightmare on Elm Street in the headlines and fans getting excited about something with Freddy. Come on, make another movie. Let's do this. Like announce something.
I mean, since last time you spoke about this with me, it was a private discussion, but since then, that same discussion must have been spread everywhere because people know the reason why they're not making another Nightmare on Elm Street movie. The Craven estate has the rights back again, and apparently the Craven estate and Warner Brothers can't come to an agreement on, I guess, a fee, which makes no fucking sense to me since this set right here, dude, which sold out within minutes of being like not even revealed. No one knew what it looked like. We all bought it. It was like $175 set, right? People all over the world bought it. If that's not an indication as to the popularity of the franchise and how much the fans want to see Freddy in any shape or form, it's completely beyond me, man. I think this should get the ball fucking rolling. I think, come on. I mean,
for sure. I mean, look at what happens when you suppress horror fans of our beloved icons, right? Like you suppress Friday the 13th for so many years. Guess what happens? These filmmakers start doing fan films that are huge and loved and widely received, and then you get In a Violent Nature, which is literally a Friday the 13th movie. Like through and through, that's a Friday the 13th.
And then you get an
movie.
Angry Orchard commercial, which myself and Brady reviewed, Sweet Revenge, which I actually thought wasn't terrible. I didn't hate it. I thought it was kind of fun. I guess maybe to your point, Jeremy, the longer you make them wait, maybe they'll just accept anything. I just thought it was kind of a cool little thing. I knew it wasn't like an official movie.
Right.
But I am hearing there's some, there's some stuff rolling around with that too. Like things are happening with that franchise. So it's, again, Art the Clown's huge. Michael Myers had his shine recently with the newer movies. It is time for our biggest 80s icons, definitely the two biggest, Jason and Freddy, to come back out and shine again. So that's why we're here to talk about one of the best aspects of those movies.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the Black Phone 2 is like, oh, okay, you don't want to do Freddy Krueger?
Right.
We'll do it. Like, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting.
Me too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, this franchise is something that has changed my life in so many different ways and, enabled me to meet people that I would have never met otherwise and really opened me up to the horror genre and, conventions and everything. Like it legitimately changed my life. I love these movies so much. So anytime there's an opportunity to sit down and talk about them, I'm game.
Which is crazy because you've been an official member of the podcast, I think, 4 or 5 years now almost, and I don't remember us ever actually doing an episode on Nightmare at all, which is crazy.
Been, 4 years. He's been on here 4 years.
I'm pretty sure that we haven't. If we have, I forgot. We've done a whole slew of Halloween stuff though, because you guys just love that Halloween shit. But we're gonna make this a trend. We're gonna keep doing Nightmare stuff because we need to get it back out there. We need to talk about it more, and especially, influence those younger fans, the kids that are coming to horror now, get them into Freddy. So we're going to start right off. And again, I think when you think of this genre, Nightmare on Elm Street always stood a little bit of above the regular slasher movie because that fantastical element of the films, there was so much more you could do than just a guy with an axe, a guy with a knife, a guy with a chainsaw. So that was why I felt this was going to be one of the more interesting kill countdowns. But as we always do, we start with the youngin on the show, and arguably our least of a fan of the Nightmare series, Brady. Just being honest, man. Just letting them know. I mean,
Yeah.
you usually don't really care about shitting on Doug Bradley or shitting on what you don't like. So
Evil Dead 2, Doug Bradley. I wouldn't say that I loathe this series like I loathe Evil Dead 2 and Hellraiser. But it was just one of those that, of the big three, Friday is my shit, then Halloween. And then I think just because I got to Nightmare late in the game, like as an adult, like it didn't have the same effect on me. Like I can appreciate it, but I didn't watch it as a kid. I didn't watch it when it was coming out. Like sleeping and having something terrorize your dreams, like that wasn't really a novel thing to me, So I think that that's what it was. Love Robert Englund, love what he brings with Freddy, but if I'm gonna watch these movies, it's really gonna be 1 through 4, and not much else after that. But
That's
if
fair.
we're gonna kick off top 10 of these, it's funny I just say that because actually my number 10 is Knives on a Chalkboard from Freddy's Dead.
wow, oh my god, holy shit! Did not expect that one.
Lend Me Your Ear is so fucking funny. I think that so a big fear of mine growing up, because I had a lot of ear surgeries. I had tubes in my ears, and then I had 2 eardrums burst. So for me, being deaf was something that really fucking scared me. I would go to concerts, as a teenager and put like earplugs in. Like I was that guy because I did not want to lose my hearing.
I was going to say, you went from that into being a huge fucking metalhead.
Right. Well, I would rather be blind than not be able to hear. Because, I love music so much. But anyways, I'm derailing. I think that in Freddy's Dead, which is not really a great movie, but the Carlos...
No, it's not.
Nope, it's not at all.
Fucking with the kids' hearing aid, like that is something that sticks with me. And a lot of my picks that you'll see in my top 10 are going to be what has stuck with me the most. And that one has to be on there because even though it's not a good movie, it's a good fucking kill. So for me, that's number 10.
I gotta say,
doesn't he end it? Doesn't he end it by saying nice hearing from you, Carlos?
Yes. Something like that. It's hilarious. It's a great one-liner.
Like also peak MTV Freddy stuff where he's just like the one-liners are just every piece of dialogue is him just being an asshole.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. That's actually probably my favorite kill from Freddy's Dead. Absolutely. And Jeremy, you're number 10, my friend.
Yeah. So my number 10 is going to be from Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which, man, depending on the day of the week, I could go either the original Nightmare or New Nightmare as being my favorites in the series.
Whoa,
they really go back and forth. I love New
It's
Nightmare.
Up there for me for sure. Yeah.
My number 10 pick is Chase Porter's death.
So good.
When he's driving home and he's nodding off, and I mean we all know what it feels like to be driving and be so tired that you're just doing anything to try and stay awake, and he's like singing like, "That's me in the corner, that's me in the spot, light, and he's like,
with those
just
tight ass jeans
come on. Yeah, those tight jeans. He's like playing drums on the steering wheel, like everything that we do to try and stay awake and alert while we're driving. And then, it's Freddy, sneaking his way into the real world through him falling asleep, and the glove comes up through the seat.
Oh, amazing.
And there's
visual.
the funny little spot where he like nicks the pants and then like he like scratches his nuts or whatever. But what I love about this kill is it's brutal too, man. Like I love anytime Freddy Krueger kills people with his glove, because what's interesting about Freddy is he's got this glove, right? But he does all of these creative kills a lot of the time that don't involve the glove. So anytime we get a kill that's just like straight up glove action, like I'm all about it. And this one was brutal as shit. The Freddy's arm comes up through the seat and into Chase's chest, and like blood is just going, and then the car goes off the road. And it's just been something that sticks with me. And it's like one of those kills because I love that character, where even though I know it's coming, I'm like every time I'm like almost hoping like this will be the time that it doesn't happen. And then inevitably it does. But yeah, that's my number 10.
Great pick, dude.
Yeah.
And I love how there's a shot of him working on the new glove that pans when he's in like the trailer and stuff. Real slow. Craven is just
So good.
expert fucking director. I mean, he's always a fucking class act with his direction, but New Nightmare, just especially something like that, where he's like kind of hinting this is about to happen, and I just love it, dude. And how visceral and brutal that kill is. It's definitely more vicious than anything you'd seen in the Nightmare series for a long time. So love that one. Absolutely. My number 10, told you comic books was bad for you. It's going to come from A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, Mark, who's I can kind of relate to Mark. He's kind of like what I was like in high school. He's just trying to stay awake and help Alice catch Freddy. He falls asleep into the dream world, and it's black and white like indie comics, almost like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics. And then, of course, we see the Phantom Prowler pop up and shooting Freddy, and Freddy transforms into Super Freddy. It's one of the only times we can physically see a different actor playing the character, a different kind of it's almost like Uber Jason, except for Kane played Uber Jason. This is a different actor that played him. And of course,
Michael Bailey. Yeah.
Yep. Mark's bullets, he's impervious to them. And then he just gets turned into paper, color dropped, ripped, slashed into several pieces with a bladed glove. And I think it's one of the more interesting, creative visual kills. I mean, 5 has very few things that I really, really love. There's cool things like this that I enjoy, but this is a standout for me. So that's why I had to put it at my number 10. I had to show the movie some love because the one good thing about the movie is that there's a lot of creativity at play. So my number 10 is Mark from Nightmare 5.
I'd agree with that.
My buddy Costas, he actually owns the Mark comic book kill prop.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's like in his collection. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. My number 9 actually takes place in Dream Master, and it's got to be Sheila's Sucky Fate.
Yeah.
Because again, as a kid, I had really bad asthma.
Dude, so did I, absolutely. And I still smoked, though.
Those moments, same, where I'd be sucking on an inhaler or doing a nebulizer, getting fucking prednisone, albuterol. I went to the hospital, I don't know how many times because I couldn't breathe. So I love Dream Master in general. I remember going to actually the screening that Fredheads did at Alamo Ashburn.
That's right. We were all there. That's
years
right.
ago.
Yeah.
But going and just having a blast, man. Like, this is really peak MTV Freddy. This is kind of where the series really takes its turn. You could argue that 3 has it a little bit, but I really think this is the clear departure from kind of dastardly sinister Freddy into fun gimmicky Freddy.
I would agree with that.
But I think that when he is, walking towards Sheila and she is having trouble breathing and he's just in the classroom and literally sucks the fucking life out of her, it's classic. And I think it sticks with you. And I think you felt bad for Sheila, right? Like you wanted her to survive. She was that sweet kid, the best friend, the nerd.
Adorable.
So you knew she was going to get fucking killed.
Dude, she was like female Urkel before Urkel was a thing.
Yeah. So for me, number 9 is poor Sheila.
What a suck face! I fucking love that line.
Her face sucked. Yep.
Fucking
nice. I'm gonna follow suit with my number 9. It's Sheila's kill.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I love this scene. I love how playful Freddy is with his victims in some of these movies, where learning is fun with Freddy. Appears on the paper that she has. And what's a cool little tidbit is I saw Nightmare 4 in theaters many years ago, man. And Lisa Wilcox attended the screening, and Mark Patton was also there, even though he's not in the movie. It was a weird charity thing. I don't know, but I'm like, all right, that's cool. So what's really funny is that the screening was at 10:30 in the morning. It was super, super strange. I show up, and Lisa Wilcox is literally standing outside of the movie theater, smoking cigarettes. So what's really funny about this is right before this scene plays, there's a scene of Alice pulling out a cigarette, and she goes to light it, and she goes, "I don't smoke." And then everyone in the theater looked at her and they were like, "Yes, you do." Super funny. Super funny because we had literally just watched her smoking cigarettes. But there's something truly nightmare inducing about a scene where none of the characters can see what's happening to Sheila except for Alice. Like she's struggling and Alice desperately wants to help her, but they're trapped in their desks. And like, I love how the music kind of drops really low when Freddy starts approaching Sheila, and you primarily hear his breathing as he slowly approaches her. Like, dude, there was something so menacing and so scary about that moment with Freddy. And you know, what's also really doing this episode, what's wild is that in part 4, most of the kill scenes are about 4 minutes long. So that's another little thing that I noticed while catching up to do this podcast or whatever. But this one definitely takes its time and it's kind of drawn out by the end when he says, "Want to suck face," and then he literally sucks the life out of her. Then he hits her with the one-liner, "You flunk," which it's like, dude, it's like that's peak Freddy right there. The practical effects in this scene are out of this world and so next level. Like if they were making that movie right now, so much of it would be CGI, but like, God,
Absolutely,
man,
yeah.
there's something so beautiful about these practical effects that are like disgusting, and they've got different torsos and dummies, and like, so many different gags to achieve one kill, and it's just amazing, and it's iconic, and I love it, and that's my number 9.
My number
Nice.
9, a great pick. You Are What You Eat. It's another kill
yep.
from Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. It's Greta. Exactly to Jeremy's point, because this shit is so creative and so uncomfortable. I mean, literally her stomach is sliced open. She's gutted with his glove, force fed, her own innards suffocated, and she just like bleeds out, dude. She's done. She's gone.
Mhm.
You know, the whole idea behind this character of being like an 80s model, it was a completely different perspective than it is now, though today obviously there's, I would dare say, just as much if not more pressure on women in that field to look a certain way, enlarge in this, make this smaller, and she's at a dinner party to promote, her own modeling career, and she falls asleep, so the whole waking up to Freddy being forced fed in front of all these people, it's so disgusting. I've always thought like that imagery of the prosthetic of her face being filled full of fucking,
Yeah.
it's so disgusting, dude. She
Like
starts
a
crying, and Freddy's sitting there mocking her, holding her in his arms. He's shaking her around. It's very comical too. It's almost slapstick in the sense that it almost feels like a Looney Tunes cartoon. But I just love the shit out of that. And I always thought that was a really great kill. So I just had to throw this on there. So that's Greta from Nightmare 5 is my number 9 kill.
Well, that's interesting because I'm also going to throw it back to Nightmare 5 again, and go with Dan's death for my number 8. I think that Dan is a square. I think in 4 he's like not my favorite, but I like that he survives 4. I like that him and Alice get together. I like that storyline is what is supposed to, be kind of building you up for part 5. And I think his death is really cool because, he starts off by driving the truck, which we all know the truck from part 4 that keeps happening like on repeat. But he hears like his mom's voice on the radio. And like, that is kind of like, there's certain tells as the movies progress through the franchise where that they're in a dream state. Like it goes from just being kind of like ethereal, to being somebody, to being more so like on the nose, like, okay, well, here's like something that you would not hear on the radio. And that's what you get here. And his mom's telling him that he's throwing his life away by running away with Alice, all this stuff. And then it turns, he gets thrown from the truck. He tries to get back in, can't get in there. He jumps on a motorcycle that happens to be there
Randomly.
and the fucking motorcycle turns into Freddy. And I love that it's like, Dan ends up being like injected with these wires and electricity and turns into this like almost like cyborg robot kind of thing. And the entire time I remember watching the first time being like, oh man, not Dan. Like I hated him in the last movie, but like I wish that he could have survived this one.
Well, there's kind of a redemption thing for him. I think like you kind of start to like him when you see him survive. You're like, I kind of want to root for him,
Yeah, but then, he wakes up just in time to have a head-on collision, and he ends up dying, not even realizing that Alice is pregnant, all this stuff. And then it's one of those things that's like, I guess in the grand scheme of nightmare deaths, this is the one that's like most likely to be viewed as an accident, like he like head on with the car. It's not like he got sucked into a bed and like we couldn't figure out what happened.
True.
But yeah, so that's my number 8, Dan dying, part 5.
Great kill.
Good body. Yeah, good body horror too.
Mm-hmm. Very
Absolutely.
Cronenberg-y. Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing that I think about 5. As much as I don't think it's one of the better movies, I think Stephen Hopkins, who directed it, had a lot of creativity, especially visually in the movie. The movie's gorgeous to look at for sure. There's amazing shots. I think what he decided to do with the kills heightened him even further. Obviously, we have Rennie Harlan to thank for what he did in the previous movie for heightening them even more than what they did in 3, which heightened them. The whole continuous series has just pushed the envelope in each movie, and it's been a long time since we've seen something do that outside of maybe Terrifier or anything, but I digress. Great pick. Great pick.
Since
Here we go. It's been a while.
Dan collide with a truck.
Give me fuel, give me fire, the clown Terrifier.
Even better. There it is. Jesus Christ.
All right, my number 8 is Debbie's cockroach death.
Amazing.
That's pretty.
Dude,
that's
yeah.
pretty low.
What'd you say?
That's pretty low on the list, man.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's a lot of kills that I love.
Kinda-ish.
There's a lot of
kinda-ish.
There's a lot of kills in this franchise that I love. So, yeah, man, this one was super, super gross. Freddy shows up when Debbie's working out, and the way that she's lifting the weights and he starts pushing them down, and the practical effects of her arms literally ripping open.
Oh, it's so disgusting.
Like,
dude.
I don't know what that would look like in real life, but I feel like it would look like that. Like, it's so disgusting, and it works so well. And I remember watching it as a kid, just being like, "Oh my God, this is disgusting." My parents would be so pissed if they knew I was watching. I mean, they knew I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street, but they didn't know that it was stuff like that.
Right.
I feel like if they would have walked in the room, they'd have been like, "This is ridiculous. Like, our kid's weird," which I am. So, but dude, perfect and disgusting practical effects of her arms literally ripping open. Debbie's seen earlier in the film killing a bunch of cockroaches, so it's only fitting that, like, out of the wounds where her arms are ripped open, like, cockroach legs, start growing out of it, and it's just like, everything in the scene looks so disgusting. Like, everything looks perfect, man. And then it ends with like her like getting stuck inside of like an insect trap.
Yeah, it's like a little roach trap or something.
Glue trap.
It's a glue
roach
trap.
motel.
And then like Freddy lifts the roach motel up, and is like, you see his big eyeball looking through as her face goes into the glue, and when she lifts her face back up, it's like an actual cockroach face. And then the camera pans out, and now she's just fully a cockroach. And, Freddy lifts up the bug trap and squeezes it, and this disgusting ooze comes out of it. And it's just like, everything about that scene was just so perfectly done and disgusting. I love it, and that's my number 8.
Amazing pick.
Great kill. Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Great graphics.
Definitely showing up a little bit later for me. Absolutely. And I may be told that this one is a little bit too high or too low. Who knows? But how's this for a wet dream? Joey from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master. Dude, literally, obviously an homage to Glenn's death from the first movie in a weird way. But dude, Joey survives Part 3. Another one of those cases, Brady, where like you kind of want to see him live a little bit longer. But dude, what's better than like sitting in your bed, your water bed, mind you? What fucking kid has a water bed at that age in the 80s? They were expensive, by the way.
Shouldn't have it.
But then sees...
Bro, my grandparents had a fucking water bed.
My aunt and uncle did, dude. And anytime I stayed over at their house, I slept on that. It was so fucking weird, dude. Isn't it strange? This has to be brought up, right? Isn't it strange that like 2025, no one has a fucking water bed? That shit's not even existent anymore.
Nobody wants
Who
that
the fuck
now.
wanted
but
to
it's
sleep
just-
on water, dude? Like, I'm gonna sleep on this big thing of water.
They
My
all saw,
grandparents
they
did.
all saw Cocoon. They thought they knew it was going to happen. It just didn't happen.
But anyways,
It was a very specific generation that got waterbeds.
it was always weird. I felt like I was like, man, I want to pop this thing. I'm just gonna like stick my finger in it and it's just gonna. I'll never forget it, dude. I'll never forget it. My aunt and uncle, their shit exploded one time. Their water bed
my
exploded.
God.
It actually happened. But anyways, he sees the model from the poster on his wall, disappears, and of course, you know, Freddy comes up from underneath it, and the whole wet dream thing, grabs Joey, shoves him under the water, fucking drowns him, stabs him with his glove, and then there he is. He's done. I thought that was a epic death. Beautifully shot. The lighting in the room and everything. It's a quintessential 80s boys, high school boys room. It just felt like perfection for me. And I just love the wet dream line because, you know, I mean, obviously Joey had a thing for chicks. We saw that in the previous film. So
he also looks exactly like Nev Campbell in this movie.
Oh, remember the meme that I made years ago?
Yep.
I made that meme and it went viral, I think. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, they look almost identical.
Joey's dick was getting him in trouble in both of those movies.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It was like the one thing where the one movie he was like mute, but he's like, I can still get it wet. I don't know. I can't talk, but I'm trying to get it in.
Just because I can't talk doesn't mean I can't get this shit.
Damn, Joey.
I went to a convention one time and he walked up to me and was like,
Let me get this dick wet.
He said, "Oh, you're the guy." And I was like, "Hey, man." He was like, "Do you still have that stuff?" I don't even know if I should tell the story, but I'm gonna tell it.
Tell the story. Tell it.
And he's like, "You're the guy. Like you've got the party favors, right?" And I was like, "Bro, you have me mistaken for someone else. Like I don't have any party favors, bro." And he's like, "You sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. Like maybe I looked like a dude that did drugs. I don't know, but like I was like, nah, man, I don't." Or whatever he was asking for. I don't know if it was. I don't know.
Well,
so
party favors usually mean that, or they could mean sexual favors as well.
No, he was. Yeah. So it was not. Yeah, it was definitely D-rugs. So I was like, nah, man. I said, look, dude.
Yeah.
I said the most that I have, bro, is I've got some IPAs in the hotel room. And he was like, "What room are you in?" And so I told him, and bro, no bullshit. He kept checking with me throughout the night. "You're in 112, right?" Or whatever room it was. I was like, "Yeah." And so, dude, it was like midnight, and me and my buddies who were hanging out at the horror convention, we were about to crash, and all of a sudden we were like, "No way." Open the door.
He knocked on the door?
It was him. He came in. I gave him a beer. One of my buddies was like, "Do you want to smoke?" And he was like, "Sure." And it became one of those weird things. You ever have somebody like stay at your house or somewhere and you're like, "I just want to go to bed, but like, I don't know when they're going to leave." And you don't want to be like, you don't want to be like, "Yo, you got to go. I'm exhausted." Dude, he was in my room for hours. And I mean, like, was just talking about like God knows what, man. It went on for so long that finally I was just
off like what, one IPA?
No, dude, like
did he get on your bed and he was like, is this a water bed? I know a thing or two about water beds.
I know a thing or two. So he was smoking and he was drinking whatever, and finally, like, dude, he was like talking about how he banged Patricia Arquette and all this stuff, and I'm like, I mean, that's cool, man. And finally, just got to a point where I was like, "Bro, like, I gotta go to sleep." And he was like, "Okay, that's cool, man." And then as he was walking out of the room, he was like, "Are you guys gonna use this coffee?" And we were like, "No." And he was like, "All right, I'm taking it." And then he took the coffee out of the room and left. It was the strangest night, man.
Damn. Wonder what he's doing now.
That's crazy.
Don't know.
That's crazy.
He's probably in somebody's hotel room right now.
It was a wild experience. Yeah. It was a wild experience.
He's just going through hotel rooms looking for coffee. You gonna take this?
He's very, very, very nice guy.
I did notice when I was rewatching Never Sleep Again, because I watch it like I think once every few years or whatever. It's one of my favorite horror documentaries. Great. He's in it, and he seems like he's kind of like, "Man, I might have taken a few hits of some marijuana before I did this thing, man." He looks a lot like Nev Campbell, though.
funny.
I guess it's me, number 7.
Number 7, Be Ready, Tatty Tatty.
So number 7, like I said, Dream Master is probably, the end of the line for me. But, I got to give a lot of love to Dream Warriors. And I love how each sequence has them becoming some sort of warrior, right, in their dream. I think the soundtrack is on point. I think that some of their warrior statuses are a little outlandish, but one of my favorites is actually Terran. And I think that it's such a great kill because it is so mean-spirited. Like some of them in here are funny and some of them are you can laugh at them and have a good time, but this one, like how Freddy just starts like literally getting under her skin, being like bringing up her substance use issues and all these things, and how he's like, well, you're really not anything. And then I think it's iconic, really, just how his fingers become the syringes of drugs and he injects it into her and she dies. I think that is a very visceral kill, a mean-spirited kill, and it's one that sticks with me. And I think that's almost exactly the moment to the timestamp that I can say, well, this is the last time that this series got that mean, and then it goes off the rails. But yeah, so for me is number 7 is Taryn meeting her end. Good old Jennifer Rubin.
Amazing.
Dude, I love how her heroin wounds become little mouths that are like,
oh yeah,
when they want to be fed.
Syringes come. Yeah, dude, so disgusting. I love it, man. I love it. Good call on that one. My number 7 is Philip's death from Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Whoa, okay.
Another pretty low kill, but I trust you. This series
I'm
more
interested.
than I do.
I'm interested to see where you're going here.
Yeah.
Number 1 is Spencer, isn't it? I know number 1 is Spencer's death.
Nope. So
nope.
Dude, this scene is so cool because you've got like a marionette doll that's like hanging on the wall that like transforms into Freddy and drops down and he becomes life size or whatever. I actually used to own that prop of I had the Freddy marionette or whatever many years ago that was screen used. Amazing. But yeah, dude, all of a sudden Freddy gets real big, and there's just something so helpless about this kill. Like he goes to like scream and like speak out and Freddy's like shh, and then he's like, and then it's almost like he can't communicate or can't scream.
Right.
And Freddy's just laughing as he's like slicing him open, and next thing you know, his veins from his skin are ripped out, and Freddy starts literally marionetting him down the hallways. And Joey's the one who's keeping watch, so Will can get some sleep, and he sees what's going on and he sees what's about to happen, and so he's he wakes up all the other Dream Warriors and he's like, we got to save Philip. And like, there's nothing that they could do to save him. And they all watch as he dies brutally and falls from the building as Freddy is above the building laughing. And there's just something really mean spirited. And like, dude, those veins and the prosthetics in that are disgusting.
You feel that. You feel that every single time that he's made to walk.
Every time.
Feel the pain every single fucking step, dude.
Every time. I love that kill. It gets me every single time. So, yeah, that's my number 7.
Good kill.
Amazing kill. One of the best. Absolutely. But I'm going to follow lock and step with my number 7 with Be Ratty. It's going to be Let's Get High Water Rush. It's Taryn from number 3, Dream Warriors, where obviously we just talked about it before. She looks kick-ass.
Yep.
In that outfit with the mohawk, which was Jennifer Rubin's idea to do the mohawk and that punk rocker kind of mixed with a hair metal look. The most mean-spirited thing you could possibly do is take someone's addictions or their personal problems and put that into their death. And that's what he does. But she gets hers. She has, she's got her switchblades and she battles with Freddy for a few minutes and stuff. So it's more than just like her getting her ass kicked. She does fuck him up a little bit. But it's when Freddy brings out what makes her knees weak that she falls victim to Freddy. And there's no better visual, I think, Jeremy mentioned it earlier. It's very few and far between when Freddy actually uses his claws or his finger blades. But in this scene, both hands full of heroin. He literally pumps her full of fucking heroin.
Yeah.
Dude. And Chuck Russell himself said, in many different outlets, Never Sleep Again, like, that was my version of an anti-drug ad. I don't know if it worked well, apparently, because some of the people that worked on this movie were begging for beers at my friend's room at a convention 30 years later.
I probably shouldn't have told that story, but yeah.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't feel shit about it. No, not at all. Because that's one of his favorite kills too, because he mentioned it in the documentary. So there's something there. I just love that she's trapped in this situation, and she looks so badass and so cool, so punk rock, so 80s. Mm-hmm. Gotta have Taryn as my number 7.
Nice. Well, number 6 for me sticks with the same movie, and I got to go with the Wizard Master. Good old Will, defeating the demonic wheelchair. I think, again, it's all the same points I made about this movie already with Taryn's death, where you're getting these different scenarios with, it's almost kind of like, especially for this one, like a D&D match, and I feel like it's kind of like Stranger Things, 20 years before it came out.
Absolutely.
But what I really love about this one is this is kind of the flip side of the Taryn one, where, yeah, it's mean-spirited, but it's also just fun. Like, it's one of those kills that builds it up to make you think that maybe Will is going to survive this. Like, he's really putting it on Freddy, like he's gaining his power, and then Freddy flips the switch and he's like, absolutely not, and he fucking plunges that the blades into his chest and kills him. It's not really an elaborate kill, but I think that build up to Will's letdown is what makes it impactful for me.
Sure.
Also, the imagery of that wheelchair and him fighting it, and kind of like you were talking about with Taryn, and there's nothing lower than talking about your addiction and using that against you, but also this imagery of like Will overcoming a disability.
Yeah, sure.
Dealing with that in this dream sequence. I love it. I think it's very powerful. I am glad he died, though. He was way too whiny. I thought he was a little bit. So number 6 for me is Will.
Damn well J.K. Rowling watched that fucking movie and was like, I just got the whole inspiration for Harry Potter right there in that one.
Oh, scene. Of course. She said, that's a sorting hat.
Or did she watch Troll? Because wasn't the main character's name in Troll Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Weird.
Jesus Christ. Well, I will say, amazing pick. Definitely not on my list. So, spoiler alert, but
amazing pick, but you suck.
No. What I was going to say is that has some of the best special effects, some of the best optical effects on the movie during that scene with him, like, doing his magic and all that stuff. It's really cool. Really cool.
I mean, couldn't be me. I was too busy getting girls. I wasn't doing all that. But
I'm sure.
I was getting girls, dog.
I was getting girls, dog. I was swimming in it.
I was playing D&D too. Just saying.
All right, my number 6 again is from a movie that I really, really, really love. It's Julie's death from Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yes.
Julie is trying to keep Dylan safe and awake as he's been given medication and he's starting to fade a little bit. And you get this amazing shot of Dylan looking at Julie. And all of a sudden, Freddy just emerging behind her. And it's really the first time in the movie that you get like a really, really good look
like a full body shot of him, right?
Like full body shot. And I got to be honest, like, this is my favorite Freddy Krueger look. I think with the hat and the jacket and
the trench coat,
glove.
It's amazing.
Yeah, dude. He looks, and just like the way that his wounds look on his face. The contacts that he's wearing, like, I think this is the definitive most terrifying look of Freddy Krueger in any of the movies, period.
Really?
Like,
so this is your number one as one of the biggest fans I know. You think this is the number one
for his look? Absolutely.
Okay.
I think he's absolutely terrifying, and is Robert Englund has described it as like German chic is kind of the look of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, he's just so terrifying. And in this movie, Wes Craven had been away from the franchise for so long that he was like, you know what? There's not going to be, the crazy one-liners. Like, he's not going to be funny. Like, I just want him to be terrifying. And man, it worked out. So I read Wes Craven's original script for Nightmare on Elm Street 3 before there was
Oh
rewrites
man,
done on it.
It's brutal as fuck. It's so mean
It's
spirited.
brutal.
I'm glad we got what we got, honestly. But honestly, there is an alternate universe where I'm like, what would that movie have looked like?
Yeah. So I feel like we got a little bit of that in New Nightmare, the meanness of the character. And so he starts grabbing Julie and carrying her up the wall, which is obviously, reminiscent and an homage to Tina's death in the first film. And there's just, I'm going to use the word helpless again, just like I did describing Philip's death in 3. There's something so helpless about Julie on the ceiling with Freddy, and he's cutting into her, and Freddy hits that line to Dylan. He goes, "Want to play, was it, hold on, no, ever play Skin the Cat. Ever play Skin the Cat?" And like Dylan is reaching for her, she's reaching for Dylan. Like she's also so desperate to be saved that she's reaching for a child's hand, and Freddy just decimates her. And I love how brutal that scene is. Like, dude, those nurses came in the room and they saw her getting dragged up at the wall, and they were like, "Oh, we're the fuck out.
Nope.
We are the fuck out." Yeah, nope. they were out. So I love this death scene so much, and I just love everything about Freddy Krueger from this movie. So that is my number 6.
Good pick.
Amazing pick, dude. Amazing pick. I'm gonna do one that you already mentioned, Jeremy. I Believe in You, which is Debbie from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, the Dream Master. Obviously, being a massive fan of 80s bodybuilding, this chick was into exercise. She also hated it and was grossed out by bugs. She's just trying to fucking work out, dude. She's just trying to do bench press, bro. She's trying to, well, she already had a chest, just letting you know. They weren't pecs, but she had a chest for sure.
Did she?
She was trying to build it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, she did. Did you see the movie?
I was just trying to get you to say boobies. Yeah.
You're trying to get me to say something that's going to get my ass canceled. Can't do that on this show anymore. I apologize. But everything Jeremy said earlier on, the creativity that goes into this, the cockroach hotel, and when her arms rip, I always loved that effect so much. But ever since that moment that I saw that movie, that's why, Brady, when you see me doing bench press exercises, I don't do the actual bench press. I do the bench machine, because I'm like, I never want that bar overextends that far, because then your arms just rip right the fuck off. And then apparently after that happens, you grow cockroach arms, and I'm like, no, I'm good with that, bro.
And then there's a glue trap that falls under you in the gym.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Don't want that happening at all.
Yeah.
But I love the character herself. She's a badass. She's rocking, once again, one of my favorite things, like that 80s, like hair metal, I'm like a rebel kind of vibe throughout the whole movie. Kicking ass. I don't believe in Freddy. And then, obviously he says, I believe in you, and pushes that barbell so far down it breaks her fucking elbows. And then, she runs away. But those shots, like those amazing shots of her just like trying to run away in that atmosphere, as low budget as these movies were, they utilized that the best of their ability. And there's some just gorgeous, beautiful shots in this kill, and the lighting and everything just screams fucking 1980s. So of course, don't want to overdo it because Jeremy already mentioned it, but it's Debbie from Nightmare 4 is my number 6, which means we are down to our number 5s, which is crazy because I think this is record time doing a top 10 ever.
Yeah.
That we've gotten through it this quick, but hey,
here we are. So going into my top 5, even though I don't go out of my way to watch this franchise, I think that this could rival Friday the 13th with creative kills and fun kills and just mean-spirited stuff. But for my number 5, I have to call back what Jeremy already talked about with Julie's death. I think that in New Nightmare, I don't have to repeat everything he said because it's lock and step, but I'll add that when I watch this scene, it really does feel helpless. It feels like, for me, I kind of correlate it to when you're watching like a Jaws film and like the shark attack in the middle of the ocean where there's nothing to grab onto. You're trying to get to the boat. You're trying to like just grasp for anything, and it's water that you're
You're
hitting.
talking
Like,
about Jaws too. I know you're talking about Jaws too.
but that's with Eddie. But that's what it feels like, and when she is reaching out for Dylan
Sure.
and just wanting something to hold on to, like, you feel it. It's very visceral. And I think that this is when, we could have a whole episode on New Nightmare, no problem. But this is a movie that really gets back and I think just kind of reaffirms Nightmare as a classic franchise, gets it kind of back like some sort of course correction, but this kill is one of the main reasons that movie is so great for me. So great pick from Jeremy, and my number 5.
J-Dog.
Yes. So my number 5 is one that you guys have already discussed. It's Greta's death from part 5.
Oh, you
I have
love
to
that
say,
much? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Hell yeah.
Because there's something like just so grotesque about it, and the special effects work. So when I was writing this list, I didn't want to do just like a greatest hits, right? Because there's so many of those out there. Like, I really, really took my time and was like, what makes a great kill in this franchise? And for me, a lot of it is you guys know that I love practical effects. Going to Monsterpalooza in LA is like a celebration of that, which is why I love that convention so much, because it's the guys that make the monsters, that make the scary things happen on screen, and this scene is a literal nightmare. Like, the way that it's shot too, even like the way that the camera zooms in on Greta's like mom and family and dinner guests, like there's something just like so like comic book, or like literally like out of a nightmare, of like, it's just strange. It makes you, the way that it's filmed,
it's definitely
is
heightened. It's heightened, absolutely.
the way that it's filmed is just so in your face and unsettling. And again, all of the practical effects in the shot, as she's sliced, and they keep like, dude, Freddy's like force feeding her, which is like beyond disgusting, with the food debris mixed with the gore, mixed with the crazy camera shots. Like, this kill, even though I like, dude, I don't hate part 5, but it's definitely not a movie that I'm like, oh, I fucking love that one. Like, it's like, I'm like, you know what? When I'm watching the franchise, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm at part 5. I'm cool with part 5, but it's not one that I'm like, yo, this is my shit.
You're like, it ain't Freddy's dead, so that's good.
Yeah, dude. Oh god, I skip that one, bro. Every few years with part 6, I have to like relearn why I hate it. I'm
Bro,
like, this could be the time that I watch it, and it clicks for me, and it never
is, dude.
No,
you, man,
so,
we all do the same thing. I think we're all on the same page when it comes to that, man. There's it's not ever gonna happen.
It's a Looney Tunes cartoon, and they were like, all right, Rachel Talalay, you worked on
Now's your time.
one of these. You worked on every single one of these movies, and every film, like, you've climbed up higher in the ranks of your position in the film, and to the point where they finally were like, now's your turn, you get to make one. And then it was like, she could have done anything, because they were calling it the final one, and that's what she did. And it has nothing to do with my kill that I'm talking about.
No,
God,
I know.
I can't stand part 6, but
full retrospective coming next week.
Yeah. But yeah, Greta's death is just something that has always been so unsettling for me, even in a film that, again, it's not something that I champion. I'm like, this was done really well, and it's really effective. So that's my number 5.
Nice.
Jeremy already mentioned my number 5, Chase from Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Gotta love. I mean, if you watch these movies, in the order they were released, especially if you have to watch Freddy's Dead, if you have to, then you watch New Nightmare. It is a massive shame, and I will say this right off the bat, it's a massive shame that the movie did not get the attention that it deserved. Now, apparently, we all know it actually came out the same day as Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
which kind of ruined it. And at that point, I think it was just there needed to be a reset. And thankfully, our Lord and Savior, Wes Craven, got to do his new version of what those movies can be with Scream the following 2 years later or whatever it was, and reinvented the entire fucking genre, because he was playing with ideas that Williamson put in his Scream script in this movie. Breaking the fourth wall, being meta, all that stuff. He was already playing with that stuff in New Nightmare. But anyways, the kill itself, Jeremy said it perfectly. It's visceral. It's brutal. The hand coming out from underneath the seat in the truck, it being before he leaves the trailer, you see the glove on the stand that he's working on, and him being called home because Dylan is, interacting with like Freddy movements and things, and he's kind of like being inhabited by these weird vibes. And then, of course, he gets his, and one of the most brutal kills of the entire series. What I love even more than the kill itself, though, is after his funeral, Heather has to go to see his body, and she sees at the morgue, thinking it's a car accident. And she actually sees when they start lowering. They don't want to show it to her, and she asks to see the chest and all that, and you see the claw marks. Terrifying shit.
And who's the guy in the autopsy room? Do you recognize that guy?
You got to tell me.
Dude, is the cameraman from Scream.
Kenny?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny, move your fat ass.
Well, that's the thing. He's smaller in that movie. That's why I didn't recognize him. He's not as big.
Mm-hmm. Oh, ma'am,
Crazy.
you don't want to see that. And then she herself moves the sheet down. Yeah, that's Kenny. Move
got
your ass.
Cheeto puffs on his hand still.
That's insane.
I know you're about 30 pounds overweight.
But no, for real though. I mean, that's the one thing about New Nightmare. I just always wish that there was a way to go back in time and have that thing revisited for modern audiences, but no one gave a shit. And also they called it Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It was his way of putting his name above the title, but like it didn't say Freddy, it didn't say Elm Street, it didn't say anything. So even though you saw the poster, like a lot of people just didn't know. I think it was just, unfortunately.
I remember vividly watching Nickelodeon during that time, and they messed up and they played the trailer for it. Like, I don't know if that was like an accidental thing, but like I have a vivid memory of being a kid watching Nickelodeon, and they played the trailer for New Nightmare, and I'm like, I don't know if they were supposed to do that, but I was like, that looks terrifying.
I mean, dude, it made less than $20 million on an $8 million budget, so that's
terrible,
unfortunately. But great kills, amazing film, and I agree, Jeremy. Honestly, for me, my top 3 films are always going to be the OG, Dream Warriors, and New Nightmare. So there it is. But
all have Wes Craven's fingerprints and creation all over them.
Yep.
Absolutely. Moving on here to your number 4. Be ready. Oh.
My number 4 is the original, the OG Freddy kill. I'm talking about Tina Gray's shocking end.
Oh my God, you're going to put it...
I think that, this is really the first time that you see him kill. You realize the power he has, what's happening. And I love that it sets Tina up to be the protagonist and then makes her the first kill, like makes her the first victim, and she's done. And I think that it's such iconic imagery of that dream sequence with the alleyway. I mean, we always talk about the meme where it's Freddy's arms going out the shadow. It's like, where's my hug at? Doing that, or the boiler room, or just the imagery of her hitting the ceiling, going up the wall, getting her chest ripped open, her boyfriend just sitting there screaming. Yeah, I mean, even the imagery of her later on in the movie with the sheet over her is just incredible. And I think while there are kills that I enjoy more, I think it would be her kill had to be top 5 for me, because it kind of sets at least the tone for the next 3-4 movies. So yeah, 4, Tina Gray.
Love it. Love it. My number 4 is In My Dreams I'm Beautiful and Bad. Is
There it is. There it is.
Taryn's death in Nightmare on Elm Street 3. You guys have both already expertly discussed it, and it's a mean-spirited kill. I mean, most of Freddy's kills are mean-spirited, but again, using her own addiction against her. Let's be honest, if this was made now, it'd be like fentanyl instead of heroin. But
Right.
that's like fucked up. But
it is kind of. Yeah,
there's just
kind of.
yeah, it's like an epidemic. I'm like, yeah, it'd be like fentanyl if they made that now. But no, I love that scene, and it's just so mean spirited. And again, the practical effects of the syringe scars in her arm, doing the little like sucking mouths thing, is like just so disgusting
Feed
to
me.
me.
Even though they don't say it, I always when I see that, I hear them saying, "Feed me, feed me,
feed me." What a rush! Yeah, dude, it's just. It's a great kill. It's a great scene, and it's one that has definitely stood the test of time. So my number 4 is Taryn's death in part 3.
Good one.
And mine, maybe it's too low. I don't know, but listen, the first time I ever met Robert Englund, I was with Jeremy, and I got to actually hear him say the line out loud to the person in front of me, and I freaked. I was like, oh my God. I'd only been to a few conventions, and as soon as I heard, welcome to prime time, bitch, I was like, holy shit. I'm standing right in fucking front of me. He did the thing. So obviously it's going to be Jennifer from Dream Warriors Part 3, her head smashed into a television.
That's a good one. Yeah.
It's iconic. It's not, I mean, I wouldn't say it's not the most brutal, because getting your head smashed into a television, obviously, it's not realistic in the way that happens in the movie where Freddy's head comes up above the TV and, like these mechanical arms come out and just shove her head into the television. But her being this, she's like one of the most, chill characters out of the Dream Warriors. She just wants to be a star. She dozes off when she's watching TV, like she's passionate about film and stuff. Like we all are and everything, and then TV's not working, frustrated, she bangs the TV, and then of course these mechanical arms come out on the side and lift her up, and this is it, Jennifer, your big break in TV, and shoves her head through that fucking screen, electrocuting her, killing her. And we see the aftermath of that after that too, which is an amazing sight, a horrific sight too. But this is just quintessential Freddy Krueger. You can't have a top 10 without this kill, so I had to put it in there. So it's nice. Jennifer from part 3 as my number 4.
My number 3 has already been mentioned, but it is Joey's Wet Dream. I think
you like it that much? Yeah,
I love that kill so much.
Okay.
I think that even in the God
Freddy was
Awful
Joey growing
Conjuring
up.
3, the God Awful Conjuring 3, they even homage this kill too with the exorcism. Fun fact about me, because I was raised in a repressive Christian childhood.
You were just like Wes Craven, dude.
When I was like 12, I lived in like the backwoods of Stafford, and I had a wet dream, but nobody told me what it was. Like, nobody was like, hey, this is what's going to happen to you when you hit this age and puberty and all that. So for me, I was like, oh my God, I peed white. This doesn't feel good. Like, I was having a dream about like Paris Hilton. I don't know what happened. And I
were you watching The Simple Life?
I was watching A Night in Paris. And I couldn't go to the laundry room because my grandmother did all our laundry, and I was like, well, I can't put it up there because she, like, obviously I knew something was not right. So I went like a mile into our woods, because we had like 5 acres, and I went to the creek with my splooge underwear, and I buried it in the creek and just like dug a hole in the creek, put it under the sand and soot, and then like put a bunch of rocks on it. So I know damn well that like in 10 years after that, somebody was walking back there on their new property and was like, oh my God, some kid got killed back here. There's like 5 pairs of underwear back here.
And they pulled that shit out and smelled it, and they were like, oh man, he just liked to whack off a lot.
Yeah. My grandmother was like, why do I have to keep buying you underwear? I was like, I don't know. It just keeps disappearing. But so Joey's Wet Dream. I I do love the imagery there. I kind of like the blue hue to the bed in the room. You guys have already talked about it, but it is just a really iconic kill for me. And that movie does a good job too of introducing characters in the previous film that it then just kills off. And I mean, you go
It's
through
so
all of
frustrating.
them, and it is, and it's the same argument that I have for Halloween 5, where they kill off Rachel in the first 20 minutes.
I will say Rachel's kind of like Dream Warriors had a lot of characters.
Yeah.
But we knew their time was going to be up eventually, where Rachel, it's like she could have lasted 2 more movies kind of thing. Right?
Sure. Yeah. But I just meant like the same kind of like you're introducing a character, kind of building up their storyline. And then in the first 20, 30 minutes, the first act of the movie, you're ripping them away. There's definitely differences, but
Sure.
yeah, Joey and his wet dream, number 3. And whoever lives in Stafford County at the house that I grew up in, I'm really sorry for the creek.
But also, though, that's amazing. But also, I didn't mention this, though, but seriously, like back then, you didn't have a phone in your hand. You'd only see beautiful women if you watched them in a movie or something like that. Mm-hmm. So in the 80s or 90s, I had a Pamela Anderson poster on my wall. My mom let me have it. It was the barbed wire poster.
Oh, yeah. Iconic.
Right? So if I, as a kid in the 90s, like dreamt of that, it would have been amazing, right? Like early teens or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Unless you had that, you didn't see anything anywhere. Nowhere. There's no Instagram, there's no Facebook, you didn't see women that dressed like that in anything else unless it was a movie, maybe a TV show randomly. So it brings you back to that period, even though I hate to say this, it felt a little more innocent. When you'd see a naked girl, it'd be like, oh my God, it was like this huge thing, right? Mm-hmm. So your dream of that happening would be like, you would explode all over the fucking place because it would be like this special event for you or whatever, but not today. Not today.
Well, that's sad.
Not today.
Yeah. Not today.
Not today. Anyways, Jeremy, you're number 3. What did you splooge
I'm gonna.
Over?
Oh my God.
Well, this kill.
my number 3 is a weird splooge because it's Grady's death from Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and the reason I say it's a weird splooge is because like you have Jesse, who his girlfriend is like literally begging for him to like spend time with her, and Jesse's like, no, I'm gonna go to my best friend's house and sleep in my best friend's room.
I know. He's like something wants to get inside me, and he's like, and you want to sleep with me?
He's inside of me. Yeah, he's inside of me. Like, dude, there's so many things that I did not click for me the first time that I watched this movie because I was a kid. And watching it as an adult, it's like, oh man, they were like heavy-handed with this, which it's so funny because like Jack Shoulder, the director,
didn't know. He didn't know.
How did he not know? I don't know, man. Like Jesse's room had a sign that said "No chicks allowed" on it.
Oh God!
He's like dancing and like butt bumping, like
the probe game in his fucking closet. I mean,
dude, there's the S&M scene with the coach, and like, dude, this movie's like very, very heavy-handed with like homoerotic stuff. But yeah, it's just favorites. Dude, it's so good, and like Freddy is outside of New Nightmare. This is my second favorite Freddy look. I love
the
hook nose.
Dude, I love the red eyes. I love the voice. Like, I love how they shot him in shadows.
You're all my children.
I didn't love Frankenstein Freddy, where they thought they could hire another actor to replace Robert Englund, and like one small clip made it in, and he like walks like Frankenstein in the shower room or whatever. But
good old Bob Shea trying to save money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Jeremy, I have to ask though, not to cut you off. Did you ever meet Bob Shea?
No, dude. Always wanted to, man. And it just he's only primarily done events in Los Angeles, and it's not like like conventions. Like, dude, he's so wealthy from Lord of the Rings that he's not
sitting in his mansion counting the cash from Lord of the Rings like 20 years later. Like,
yeah, he's not interested in doing fan events or anything like that. Like, that dude is like loaded for life. So, I know he did some screenings of different films out in LA where he would attend them and do Q&As, and people would get his autograph and meet him there. But no, I've never gotten to meet him. I wish I would have. But yeah, Grady's death is in this scene. I love it so much. not necessarily for the death sequence, but everything leading up to it, where Freddy literally bursts out of like Jesse's
Oh
torso,
my god, dude.
and Jesse has the blades coming. It's just really great body horror where the blades are extending out of Jesse's fingers, and then like Freddy bursts out of Jesse's torso, and it's just like, again, practical effects wizardry and so masterful. And I don't know, poor Grady gets it through a door, but I just I love this scene, and I love Freddy in this movie despite, you know, them breaking the rules that were established in the previous original film instantly in the sequel. Like, everything else works so well in this movie that I'm like, nah, I'm cool with that. He comes into the real world, it's cool. So no, I love that sequence leading up to his death. It's just unbelievable practical effects, magic.
Couldn't agree more, man. Amazing pick, dude. I love that fucking
Down to
movie.
the top, getting there almost to the top two after
Yeah.
Juice goes.
Yeah, and you already mentioned this one, J Dog. It's Philip from Dream Warriors, obviously, with the marionette and stuff, which I never knew you used to own that damn thing. It must have been before I knew you or whatever. I wish I would have got a picture with it or something.
Dude, my Elm Street prop collection, back in like 2012, 2013 was insane, man. I owned the marionette puppet. I owned the shirt that Nancy's wearing, the purple shirt when she shows up on screen for the first time in Nightmare 3. I owned the shirt and her purse. I owned an early Chest of Souls appliance.
So I've seen
like,
the one Chest of Souls that the Museum of Moving Image owns in New York City. Is that the same one? The huge one, or is it a smaller one?
No, it's a smaller one.
Okay, 'cause I got to see that
but
one.
I had that.
But
I had a chain from the boiler room. I'm probably missing some stuff, but yeah, like I owned.
well, we all know
bunch of
you
stuff
had
from Part
Freddy's.
3.
Well, you had Robert's last makeup that he did for a convention up until that point for a while too.
Yeah. I used to own a stunt mask from Wes Craven's New Nightmare. You know when Dylan's running across the highway and there's all the Freddy guys on the highway. I owned one of those masks. It looked absolutely incredible. I owned an original script from Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, dude, I could keep going. Like, I don't when you collect on the level that I do, it's all about leveling up and, letting things go to acquire other pieces and stuff like that. And I typically don't look back and like regret most of it, but I can tell you right now,
until this episode airs,
Right.
I can tell you right now, I wish I still owned all my Nightmare on Elm Street stuff because the value on them has gone up so much. And it's like also one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I should have probably kept those, but I digress.
But anyways, I just wanted to bring it up, and it wasn't me trying to rub it in or anything, but I just honestly didn't know you had the marionette. You may have mentioned it, but if you had that, I apologize that I forgot it. But because this is one of my favorite kills of all time ever. I just love how, I mean, he is like the puppet master, absolutely, and how helpless the other people in the group and the Dream Warriors are, seeing their friend helpless walking down the hallway. No one can help them. They can't stop them. And how he just like clips, the ligaments, the strings, if you will, and he just falls to his death. Amazing visual. Got to give it up to Chuck Russell. And that's what I was saying earlier. As much as I would have loved to have seen Wes Craven's original treatment for part 3 come to fruition, I really do think that Frank Darabont and Chuck Russell coming in for part 3 was the best move ever for the franchise. You could argue and go that it went to MTV, it went to pop, whatever, but I love the pop. I mean, if it weren't for that, Freddy wouldn't be the cultural icon that he is today still, or have the admiration from all of us 80s and 90s kids that got to grow up with him. Even though my parents wouldn't let me see the movies as a small child, I remember the trading cards and like all the stuff, the talking doll, the whole shit. I mean, I was super into it. Anyways, I digress. We're still super low on time on this episode, so I can blab a little bit, guys. Sorry. So that was my number 3, full up from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors, and we're on to the top fucking 2, guys. This is it. This is the nitty gritty. This is where I'm going to decide if I'm going to keep Be Ready on the show or I'm going to kick him the fuck off tomorrow. Right. We'll see.
We'll find out after this.
No, I'm
like
sure.
every
I trust
week,
you.
so.
I've heard your other
Right,
picks.
right.
Actually, great picks all around, guys. Seriously, like not a bad pick in either of your lists so far.
Well, on that note, here's where my bad pick is. Number 2 for me is already been talked about. So that was a joke, but it's the Roach Motel. I think any kill that has Sinead O'Connor in the background is
yeah,
fucking
that's true.
great. Man, it's like oh, it's so fucking good. But yeah, I mean, you guys both already waxed poetic about it. It's a gruesome kill. It's that nasty glue trap and the fear of, when you're lifting weights that your fucking elbows giving out, and just, I mean, who hasn't been at the gym being like, man, if I go way too far on this, my arms are going to turn into roach arms and pop out of my skin.
It's a good thing Daddy taught you how to bench press.
Exactly, but it is just gross. You almost feel sweaty watching it,
Sure.
And then just the eye popping through, Freddy looking and lifting up the Roach Motel, and then squishing and having all like the little screaming, crunching and goo. It's great for a reason. So for me, it's Debbie's Roach Motel number 2.
Hell yeah!
And I want your hands around me.
I want your hands. My number 2 is Glenn's death.
Okay, we might as well talk about this together because that's my number 2 as well.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. From the original Nightmare on Elm Street. It's iconic. Like, that's the best way that I can put it. It's just such an iconic scene, and I love, interviews with Johnny Depp where he talks about it, and they're like, you were in Nightmare on Elm Street, you got killed by Freddy, and he goes, I got eaten by a bed. Like, dude, there's just something so great about it. The amount of blood that they use, the fact that they had to build a soundstage that they could literally flip upside down, and then just reverse the shot in post-production so it looks like blood is just shooting straight out of the bed. I think it's just amazing. And so original. Like, I remember watching this. I had never seen anything like it to that point. I mean, maybe like the elevator scene, I guess, in The Shining or something.
But
like
I
that.
saw this before I saw The Shining. Honestly,
I did too.
Yeah,
I did too. So I had never seen anything like it. But it's incredible, and I think it's just such a timeless set of imagery that it never gets dated. Despite Johnny Depp's belly shirt that he's wearing. It's just
dudes are wearing that now at the gym. Be Ready can attest to this. They're wearing them again.
Unbelievable. So. Unbelievable. I mean, meanwhile, Jinkos are also back. But yeah, no, this kill is absolutely timeless and iconic, and that's why it's my number 2.
I had a feeling, J-Dog, this is going to be the way it was. I mean, this kill, obviously, not just for the simple fact that it is Johnny Depp, but it was his first movie. He's wearing the belly shirt, which makes me slightly harder than I would normally be during a kill. Just mentioning it, have to say.
Right, obviously.
That fluffy little...
They homaged that belly shirt in Scream with Tatum's character.
With Tatum, yep. Rose McGowan, yeah, absolutely. The number, the whole deal. A good old Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson, they knew what the fuck they were doing. But yeah, I mean, there's the story. You could tell, but we don't need to go into it again. But Johnny Depp signed Nightmare stuff for you, right?
Yeah.
He signed Nightmare for you.
Dude, it was so crazy because it wasn't like I met Johnny Depp and Alice Cooper together.
Right.
And this is no bullshit. Joe Perry was there too, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you." Shook his hand, and then
you're an Aerosmith,
and I was like, "Yeah, I was like,
don't want to miss a thing, bro. Go ahead."
Yeah. But yeah, I went to Alice Cooper and I said, "You're Freddy Krueger's dad," and he goes, "I am." And then I looked at Johnny Depp and I said, "And you got killed by Freddy Krueger?" And he goes, "I did." And then we all had kind of a laugh about it, and yeah, dude, he signed my Italian Nightmare on Elm Street original poster. It's cast complete, man. Like he knocked it out. And the stories, I'm not going to tell the whole story now because it is a long. I'm already long-winded, but it's like super long-winded story.
You've told it on the show before, but I know some people want to hear the stuff. But you said it was a pleasant experience with him.
Oh, beyond pleasant. had no idea at this point. It wasn't public knowledge on the Amber Heard shit.
Yeah.
But apparently his finger had just been chopped off by a fucking wine bottle when I met him, and it had just been surgically reattached. And like he
Jesus.
had the when I met him, he had the haircut for what was the movie called? Like Fantastic Beasts or some shit like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
Gris. He was.
Yeah.
What the fuck was it?
Grindelwald?
Griswold.
Grindelwald? Yep. I don't know.
Whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
Clark
he had that
Griswold?
haircut.
It was Clark Griswold. Yeah.
He's in the
Yeah, there we
first
go.
one.
Sounds
He was
good.
in the first one, then they recast him or whatever. He's really good
Yeah.
in the first one, though. He's really good in it, though.
Yeah, he had that haircut when I met him because I guess like he was either about to film or had just filmed. But yeah, he was really nice, man. So it was a great experience.
Amazing. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. BluBrry's #1 kill of the A Nightmare on Elm Street series.
My number one.
It's from the remake. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's Spencer being killed in the video. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, you were gonna go there. I literally freaked out. I thought you were gonna really go there. Holy shit.
No, it's Glenn. Glenn's kill in the OG Nightmare is the one that has absolutely stuck with me. I don't know that when you talk about a horror movie and you talk about kills, like maybe the one that rivals it is Mark in the wheelchair in Friday Part 2.
Dude, couldn't have made a better analogy.
This one is just, and even just the build up to it where, whatever you do, don't fall asleep. And he fucking falls asleep and he wakes up and everything gets sucked down in that bed, and you wait a couple seconds and that blood just comes spewing up. And I remember I saw like VH1 used to do like these series like I Love the 80s or I Love the 90s.
I used to watch that shit all the time.
And I would watch that before I even saw this movie and just try to see clips of things. And I remember Nightmare on Elm Street used to be one that came up, and that kill scene happened. And I must have been like 8 or 9 when I first saw it. And I was like, oh my God, like I don't understand how this is happening. Like what is under my bed that is going to chew me up and literally eviscerate me and throw it back up. And just the fact that even like later on in the movie, you see his like bloody headphones, like it all just is the perfect kill from beginning to end. And when you, again, like I said at the beginning of the episode, when I think of this list, what I had to do was what sticks with me the most, and Glenn's kill definitely #1. So that's how I end it.
Very nice.
Amazing pick, dude. Amazing.
Very nice. My numero uno is Tina's death from the original Nightmare
Once
on
Again,
Elm
we
Street.
fall lock and step, I guess.
Weird. Nice.
Us OGs,
yeah,
I guess.
100%. Yeah. I mean, this scene, like Brady touched on a little bit, the movie kind of sets it up where you think that she is going to be, our main lead in this film, only to be shocked that no, like she's, she gets killed, which was definitely very surprising. And there's just something so brutal about this kill. Nancy and Glenn hearing it happening and not being able to do anything. Rod, who desperately wants to protect her. Like, dude, oh my God. Every time I watch it, I literally go, when her body gets thrown against his body and he goes flying, like,
Into
dude,
the wall.
you guys,
He's so helpless. Yeah.
oh, but it just looks so painful too, man. Like, you ever like act like you and another person were running at the same time, but both not looking in front of you, and you collide with each other? That's exactly what that just looks like. Just like, dude,
Like
so
times
painful.
10 though in this scene though, for sure. Because like that
100%.
force behind it, for sure.
100%. And it's bloody and it's gruesome. And man, I love this death scene beginning to end. And I loved Tina's character as well. Fun fact for you guys: did you know who directed the chase scene with Freddy and Tina, where the arms extend and get long? Sean Cunningham.
Not surprised.
He did it.
Since
yeah,
Wes
he
started
did it.
his whole career with Sean. Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently Wes, I guess, had helped him when he made Friday the 13th by directing second unit for a scene. So, I guess Wes was filming something else on the movie and asked him, "Hey, can you just film this scene where, you know, my villain is chasing, this female down an alley?" So he directed that, and he also directed the melting stairs at the end of the movie where Nancy's running up the stairs, uncredited. So just fun little Nightmare on Elm Street little nuggets for you guys.
Those may be two of the best things that he ever fucking directed, because Cunningham was not the
Man.
best director.
Yeah.
New kids fucking rules, man.
It's all right.
All right. Yeah.
I like Spring Break though. So
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
so yeah. What else am I going to say that Jeremy didn't say? I think that Tina's death is one of the most visceral, brutal death scenes of any fucking horror movie of all time. They used the same exact room that was made for Breakin' for the breakdancing scene. That was like they were going to do the electric boogaloo shit. They were able to utilize that, and they made something like visually iconic. So brutal. It was one of the hardest problems that Wes and New Line had with the MPAA in terms of cutting and making it less violent, because if you think about what came before that, even in the slasher stuff, I mean, seeing Amanda Weiss just like crawling up and down, the walls and the ceiling is just such as a horror fan, you love it, but you also are like this feeling inside yourself where you really connect on it, and you're like, man, imagining what that would actually feel like to happen to you. And then when she dies, the music and everything else, there's no sounds. She just plunges to her death, and you hear as she lands in the bed. And poor Rod, dude, he really didn't do anything. He may have been a bad boy, and he may have gotten laid that night. He may have done it by bad boy means, but he did not kill her. He didn't hurt her. And he gets the finger pointed at him, and he gets his ass killed too for that reason.
I did not kill her. I did not.
I did not.
No more bad dreams.
Well, there it is, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's October. It's spooky fucking season. Thanks for tuning in on our top 10 kills of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Let us know in the comment section wherever you see this posted what your favorite kills are. I'm actually very positive that most of you will follow and lock in step with most of the choices we made tonight, but someone out there is going to be like, that one kill from the remake no one talked about. Right. Or, honestly, Be Ready, you mentioned Freddy's Dead. I didn't have anything on Freddy's Dead in my list at all.
Or Freddy versus Jason.
Well, I kind of kept that out of there because Jason does almost all the killing in that movie under Freddy, so I was like, doesn't really make any sense.
I do consider that more of a
Friday you could kind of go either way with it, but also I love part 2, but I didn't have anything off part 2 on my list either, but Jeremy did, and so great lists all around, guys. Seriously, amazing episode, so glad to have you here for this tonight, and especially with Freddy in the headlines again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to listening to the show, thanks for checking it out. If you're longtime listeners, thanks for sticking with us. We're available on every single podcatcher known to man at Epic Film Guys, on social media, wherever you want to find us. We're there. We got the Black Phone 2 coming up, some other surprises for spooky season, but also spooky season is like our busiest season for all the other stuff we're doing. But I have a feeling, Jeremy, we're going to have an episode on something that's secret that might come out eventually later on. We might talk about it later this month. Some other stuff, some cool stuff.
Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go. Huh?
Some good stuff in the pipeline for sure.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But until next time, guys, I'm Justin.
I'm Jeremy.
I'm Be Ready.
And as always, Esby, I like to ask you to keep that shit. Come on, keep it that way. Come on, keep it. Keep it.
Keep it spooky.